We have a Fox News alert. Donald Trump has just signed a proclamation banning foreign nationals from certain countries from entering the United States. The countries include Afghanistan, Haiti, Iran, and Yemen. This is to protect us from foreign terrorists. Makes sense. Senator Bernie Moreno has been tracking this and joins us to discuss. Now, this is an expansion, Senator, of an executive order that he issued on day one, on January 20th. But they're obviously worried about another attack or potential attack in the United States. If this comes now, your thoughts tonight?
Well, you look at what happened in Boulder, Colorado, where you had a terrorist that Biden allowed into this country and literally set an American citizens, several, on fire because they were Jewish. Look, the President of the United States, and by the way, every member of Congress, has one solemn duty: to defend and protect the United States of America. And contrast that, Laura, what President Trump just did compared to what Biden did for 4 years. He flew private jets to Venezuela and Haiti and Nicaragua and picked up foreign nationals, criminal aliens, brought them to America and gave them all the social programs that are intended to take care of American citizens. It's a total disgrace. Thank you to President Trump for keeping America safe. That's what the election was about.
Yeah, and the Trump versus Hawaii case at the court upheld the president's authority under 212, Section 212F, I believe, to carry out these types of restrictions for national security purposes. It's just common sense. I mean, the idea that you can vet these people from countries with no real criminal database and which want to do us harm is insane. And that goes for a lot of the, 120,000 refugees from Afghanistan. There are maybe a handful of people, count them in, maybe 100 people who probably, should be here. But 120,000, that was also insane. Completely nuts.
Completely crazy, Laura. Look, these countries are basically failed nations. They have no ability to vet who's leaving their country. We're not going to put American citizens in jeopardy. And for the first time in 4 years, we have a president that actually cares about American citizens, that's willing to protect us and defend this country. Thank God we have President Trump in the White House. Yeah,
it goes into effect Monday. I guess the refugees from Afghanistan, they didn't want to tangle with that mess, so they're exempt from this. But I think that should be re-examined as well. I want to move on to what we've discovered now that happened in the Biden DOJ. We had understood and learned about a memo that Christopher Wray claimed was only isolated to a Richmond field office that was clearly targeting American Catholics, traditional Catholics, as potential threats to the country. Now we find out that this was much more broadly disseminated to at least 1,000 people within the FBI, and 3 different field offices, Senator, were consulted about this deeply offensive and anti-American, forget anti-Catholic memo. Christopher Wray, did he perjure himself when he said this was just a limited deal?
Well, clearly, I mean, what Chuck Grassley's discovered, Senator Grassley's discovered, thank God that we have Kash Patel in the FBI that's provided us all that information. But I can tell you this, Laura, I'm a Catholic and I'm an immigrant. And think about what was happening during the last 4 years. Joe Biden was letting criminal aliens into this country en masse, millions of people, and then taking the FBI, whose lone job is to make certain that they protect America, and going after Catholics, people who practice their religion, who have faith. By the way, anybody who knows anything about Catholicism, it's about peace. It's about loving thy neighbor, worshiping God, thanking God every day for Jesus, forgiving us from our sins. And that is a crime in the Biden FBI. But bringing criminal aliens into this country was allowed. This is insane. And we need to have Christopher Wray. We need to drag him into Congress, subpoena him, and get him in front of a committee immediately to make certain that we understand the depth of his lying and his cover-up of this incredible story.
Yeah, we all knew this wasn't limited to one office. That didn't even pass the straight face test. And he's like, we're supposed to claim, supposed to think he didn't know about this? I mean, come on. Senator, great to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.